Hi, this is Christopher again, and I want to talk to you a little bit about Openstack and how a private cloud might benefit you in either your lab or if you're ready for it, a production environment. So let's start with number one. The biggest virtualization platform that everyone's probably heard of today and probably built a career around it is VMware. I think the version 8 is what we're doing now. It works. You can Google anything about it. There's a lot of great resources for it, and most used equipment that you can buy today will support it. Biggest problem is cost. Number of CPUs, number of hosts, a couple other features. They just cost an arm and a leg. Now you can do things like, if it's a lab environment, use the VMware Users Group trial license. I think it's about $500 a year, and you get to use up to I think 4 hosts, and you get to try every feature. And you have to renew this every year, so it's very helpful for you to use it at home or even in a micro lab. Just don't put anything in production on it. That's in terms of the license. The other one is Proxmox. Now I don't have too much experience with Proxmox. I have seen it in a couple of environments that we've worked with clients. I liked what it did. You just consolidate a lot of your resources into a group of servers, and it kind of bakes in a lot of the HA functionality from what I've been able to see. And for the most part, in the customers that I've had the experience with where they had Proxmox in the environment, no issues for quite some time, as a matter of fact. So that's the other alternative. I can't speak too much about that one, but the other one I will speak to you about is Openstack. Now, I've been following Openstack, I would say since about 2012. Rackspace, NASA, and a couple other folks have been contributing to this project for quite some time, and it's made quite an evolution. And I think it's at release 27 today, 2023. And listen, it has everything you might want that's in VMware. It's even in Proxmox. It's open source based. But I see that there is a barrier to entry to it. It is very complicated to set up initially. You can't Google all the articles or use AI to set it up today. But the bare minimum is 3 hosts, I would say, and then you would actually get the fault tolerance that it's capable of. But really, install the full version is what I'm recommending to most folks. There is MicroStack, which is an all-in-one. Very helpful. It kind of gives you an idea of how the services run and what the UI looks like, what the experience would be like. And you can build a little tool chain around that, seeing how to import systems and kind of just get familiar with the application itself. But ultimately, we have, NMI has a 14 node, I believe it is now. We started with 4. We've added over time. I think it's been operating for the last 2 years. A 14 node OpenStack cluster. We're using technologies like Ceph as the backend for storage. So this is an amazing tool, which we'll get into in another video. But Ceph is the equivalent of what vSAN might be for VMware if you're coming from that world. And it does the job really well, right? It manages disks across multiple hosts. We have 10 gig, and I think we've upgraded recently. We definitely upgraded to 40 gig recently, and we're seeing very good speeds for our block storage. It's not all SSD, so we're not seeing amazing speeds, but we are seeing great speeds, already due to the 40 gig and the number of VMs that we're running. So in retrospect, Ceph will be your your block storage where all your VMs would exist in VMware world. You might use something like NFS. You might use something like vSAN. You might even use local disk storage. It's up to you. The advantages of it, though, is really just how your VMs will be able to utilize any CPU for compute, because you have a redundant backend for storage. So your VMs would always be highly available, and you can use tools and services like Masakari, which if you lose a compute host, it will migrate over to another compute host. And if your VM's backing files are on Ceph, well, it's already part of the network, and it'll be available pretty much instantly. Probably a little bit of latency, but you won't really see too much downtime with that. So these are some of the three main tools that I've seen out there that work for virtualization, and I highly recommend you check out OpenStack by visiting www.openstack.org, and just checking out some of the ways to install it. We like Canonical's Juju Charms edition. Just works really well. It's very easy to manage. We have a single pane of glass for visibility of all the services. But the second alternative is Ansible Kala, which is the OpenStack via Ansible installation, which we find to be very useful as part of our prior research before we went with Canonical. So leave some comments below. Let me know if you have any thoughts, questions, or would like to see a little bit more about OpenStack or maybe even VMware. Thanks. Have a great one. Until next time.